Hey friends, welcome back to the Bald Booktuber. I am live. It is my birthday. I'm going to wait for some people to show up, but hope everyone is having an excellent Sunday. Hello, hello. See some faces popping in. That is good. Happy Sunday, everyone. Drop in the comments if you will and let me know who's here. Thank you very much, Caitlin. I appreciate it, my friend. Yes. Zen, nice to see you, sir. Yeah, Paramita, who I think will be showing up, has read most of Sun Eater somehow in a matter of days. Theo, what's up, sir? Happy birthday belated to you as well, my friend. I know yours was, the 24th, so I appreciate it. Hope you had a great day. Cyprian, hello. Thank you. Happy birthday to me. Yes, I appreciate that. Brent, hey, man. Thanks. I appreciate it. Hey, Cody, thank you. Hey, Matt, what's up, man? What time is it over in, is it Berlin where you're at? What time is it over there right now? Hey, thanks, Zen. I appreciate it. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate it, man. Happy Scott Day. Thanks. I appreciate that very much. Thanks, Bailey. Cool. Well, I appreciate everybody being here. I don't have a super packed agenda. I just am doing my 29th video in 29 days and celebrating the passing of another year, I suppose. It's 5 p.m. in Berlin. Awesome. Cool. I figured it was sometime in the afternoon. Well, that's nice, but I'm only 44, but I appreciate it, Theo. Thank you so much. Hey, thanks, Paramita. I'm glad you were able to take a break from reading Sun Eater for 5 minutes. Paramita, as of a couple of days ago, hadn't read any of Sun Eater. Now she's read almost all of it, so that's good news. Cool. Well, I hope everyone is having an awesome Sunday. Just a kid. Yeah, that's right. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. It has been challenging and taxing and fun at the same time. So I will never do it again, but I'm glad I did it this time, I guess. I look mostly decent. I appreciate that. That is good. Hey, RJ, I appreciate it, sir. Thanks so much, my friend. Thank you, Chadia. I appreciate it. Thanks, everyone, for being here. So I don't have any special big life updates or anything like that. We can go for as long as people have things they want to chat about. Obviously, open Q&A the whole time. I am, if you're interested, currently rereading Tawny Man book number 1, Fool's Errand. I'm about a third of the way in to my reread there, and it is going great and terrible at the same time. So there you go. If you've read it, you know what I mean. I don't know if I have any super big plans today. The wife, Devi, is not feeling great. So, unfortunately, we need to get her well before we do anything super major. But, yeah, beyond that, if she's feeling better, we'll probably grab some dinner later and, I don't know, drinks. Nothing too terribly exciting. Last night we went to like this string quartet deal at the Phoenix Zoo. They were doing kind of a bunch of rock songs, so that was kind of fun. But yeah, no big plans beyond that. Okay, sure. Yeah, it can be a little much, but that's all right. Yeah, I mean, just get everything on Kindle, man, and just go. Stop delaying. Read Sun Eater. Yeah, no more excuses. Yep. Relaxing is not. Yeah, there's no chill with Kingdoms of Death. You get a little bit of a pause in Ashes of Man, so hopefully that's going okay for you. Yeah, no super big plans. Just chilling. I go back to work on Wednesday. So right now I'm just kind of reading and chilling and live streaming. Nothing terribly exciting. Hob, yes, Queen Hob, correct. My favorite. That is correct. I wish I could read even a 20th of as fast as Paramita is reading. Hey, thanks, Mads. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for being here, my friend. Yeah. How did I find it? I found it through Mike. Mike did what was it, back in 2021, I guess? Did a kind of a why you should read Empire Silence. And I think I read Empire Silence the end of 2021, and then I moved on to the other books last year. And then, now I've reread all of them. So, um, yeah, I think for me, it just has everything I love. It's got first person retrospective, it's got space opera, it's got cool high matter swords, it's got everything I want. Lots of philosophy, which I'm cool with. So, yeah, there's a lot there that I really, really love. Yeah, I mean, the book collecting and the book reading are two different things. So you can always go get those later on. Right now, the goal should be to read the books, my friend. But I know you've got a lot going on with your Malazan everything read, Malazan everything read for you. You got your Hob read, you're doing Song of Ice and Fire, all the stuff I love. So that's good. Yeah, me too, Zen. I've got countless formats and copies of everything Sun Eater. And I think there's going to be more to come of that. Correct. Yes. I like relaxing reading days. I am watching a lot of chess lately, so nobody's going to care about this but me. But the last day of the Tata Steel chess tournament today, which is a super tournament that they hold every January in Wykanzee in the Netherlands. And I'm just watching it wrapping up, and it looks like my boy Anish Giri is going to win this year. So that is good news. Why not both? Correct. Hoarders Unite, yes. Yep, found through Mike. I really enjoyed his chats with Rockio. Yep, Rockio was on Mike's Discord, so I felt I had to read it. Yes, Rockio is awesome. I love that he makes himself available to his fan base. That is tremendous. The Bald Rereader, yes. I am doing probably too many rereads this year. I already reread Red Rising. I reread Game of Thrones. I reread, or am in the process of rereading Tawny Man, and it's going to go that way for a few months here. So, pretty front loaded with rereads. Yes. Yeah, Paramita got a little bit excited for Sun Eater and now is devouring it, which makes me happy. Yes. Thanks. I appreciate that. I've been saying it Malazan since like 2001, so I can't force myself to say it any other way. I can't make my mouth do that. Talented troll, which makes him extra entertaining. Yeah, he would be pleased to hear you say it. Yes, correct. Paramita is going to tell everyone how great it is, which I appreciate. She has excellent taste and has read a ton of stuff, so I'm excited to see her enjoying it. Reread Earthsea, Ostenard, have a Song of Ice and Fire lined up. Excellent. Something by Tolkien. Yes. Yes. Oh yeah, Paramita also sometimes has a string of not liking books, so it's nice to see that she's enjoying Sun Eater. Yeah, cool, cool. What is everybody else reading? I am curious to know what all of you have going right now. I am doing, like I said, I'm reading Fool's Errand, and then once I finish that, I will start with book 2 of Book of the New Sun, Claw of the Conciliator. So that's awesome. Michael K. Vaughn is here. What is up, man? You're joining us from the manor. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. And thank you for the nice wishes. I appreciate that. Sun Eater is indeed great. That is correct. Yeah. Song of Ice and Fire, Malazan Book of the Fallen, Realm of the Elderlings, and currently, what is Chinur? I don't know what that is. Tell me what that is. I'm rereading Fool's Errand right now. So book 1 of Tawny Man. So I'm going back through and rereading Realm of the Elderlings so I can be somewhat intelligent when I am part of the panel of the Elderlings that Mike invited me to. That Madison is also a big part of. Let me see. Hella rereads. That is good. That is very, very good. Correct. The Sun Eater is very, very good, and I'm happy that people are reading it. Okay. Zen is doing his Assassin's Apprentice reread. You're dragging, or the book itself is dragging? I think that means you're dragging. Oh, and that's right, you're doing Wheel of Time audio reread. I wouldn't want to spend that much time with Kramer reading personally, but I hope you enjoy it. That is good. Yes, Book of the New Sun, indeed. Yeah, doing a Red Rising read along and reading Sarantine Mosaic with you, and yeah, we're doing that in April. We decided, right? Cool. I'm looking forward to that one. That'll be my first GGK. Yeah, how many pages into the Lonesome Crown are you, Mads? It'll be good to have that one behind you. I think you're probably far enough that some crazy stuff goes down. Yeah, Fool's Errand is probably my third favorite. I like Assassin's Fate and Fool's Fate more, but Fool's Errand is not too far behind. It is both my favorite and least favorite for various reasons. Okay. You're getting into Cormac McCarthy and enjoying it. That's good. I think you said this is your first Cormac McCarthy, so that is good. I started with Blood Meridian and didn't have a good time. And then I read The Road last year and had a great time. So hopefully when I do No Country, it'll split the difference at least. Madison is just reading a ton of different books. So it's split in time with other things, I think, is the problem. Yeah, you're okay. Okay, 75%. Yeah, that I'd say that last third is just insane with the Lonesome Crown. I couldn't predict anything that was going to happen. Not that I'm good at predicting stuff, but 5 books at the same time and not finishing anything. Yeah, I get that. I get that problem when I do too many books at once, which is why I try to not read too many books at the same time. I either will focus on one book to the detriment of the others, which usually happens anyway, or I'll take little sips of each one and never finish anything. So either way, it doesn't work out too well. Yeah, the Lonesome Crown is insane. That is correct. In some ways, I wish he'd been able to spread it out to 5 books. In others, I kind of like that he had this massive, massive book at the end to cap it off. Excellent. Caitlin is reading Grail Quest and Dowry of Blood. What's Dowry of Blood? Is that the Sookie Stackhouse stuff, or is that something else? I'm not sure what that is. Yeah. Yeah, I think it depends. If the stuff is different enough, I don't mind reading multiple books. But if it's like multiple epic fantasies or multiple sci-fis within the same genre, I have a tough time keeping track of what's going on, and I tend to mix what's happening in one book with another. But if I'm reading like an epic fantasy and a historical fiction, that's usually not a problem or something of that nature. Yeah, I don't know anyone's really good at juggling books. I think maybe there is someone who is just good at making sure every book gets equal attention, but I don't know who that is. Yeah, distracted by one and binge. Yeah. RJ's on a 1 book at a time per policy, so I mean that makes sense to me. I can at most I can do like 3 books at a time, but I don't usually. Usually it's maybe one, and maybe if I want something on the side, I'll do like an audiobook or something. Dowry Blood is a vampire retelling of Dracula's wife. Oh, okay. Cool. RJ is a smart egg. That is correct. Yeah. Cool. What do we got? Sorry. Unless you count sight reading one thing and audio reading. I mean, that counts. Yeah. That'd be 2 at a time. Cool. What questions can I answer for people? It can be anything. Doesn't have to be book related, though it can be. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions for me, anything that you're wondering. Kellen, it's hard for him to do multiple books. How are you liking Tress? I've heard mostly good things. I started to listen to a bit of it, and I just don't think it's the right time for me right now. Mystery Walk. Mystery Walk. That sounds familiar. What is Mystery Walk? That's not. Is that a McCammon? I can't remember. Let me know what Mystery Walk is. Yeah. I had this really, I've talked about it before, but prior to BookTube or me discovering BookTube in 2020, I had this really weird reading slump where I started a ton of books and I didn't finish any of them. It was the first time I tried to start Way of Kings and I didn't finish it. I think I can't remember what else I had in there. I think Gunslinger was one of them. I started the Gunslinger. I didn't finish it. There's just a bunch of stuff that I've since read that I would get 25% into and lose interest or whatever. Thankfully, I haven't had that problem recently, but that was something that was bothering me for a while. I don't know. What is a charcuterie? Something I ate last night. What did I have last night? I don't. It's hard to say. I don't know. Tell me more about that. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Pyramida has a question. If you could have dinner with 3 authors, living or dead, who would they be? Robin Hobb would certainly be one. I'd love to pick her brain and just hear her talk about her process and stuff. I think I would probably have Edgar Allan Poe in there. I think he was a literary genius that I need to get back to reading more of. It's been many years. And probably, who would the third one be? I mean, there's a lot of good choices. I guess Tolkien. I mean, that's cliched, but I'd like to hear from him. Tress is okay. Lighthearted pirate story. Lots of Hoyd. I do like Hoyd. Mystery Walk is a McCammon. Okay, I knew I'd seen that title somewhere. Yeah, Tress is supposed to be like a retelling of Princess Bride, right? With a young female protagonist, if I understand it correctly. So Princess Bride is one of my favorite movies, which is why I'm a little worried I may not vibe with it, but who knows? Is that the charcuterie? Okay, yeah, the meat and cheese board. Okay, I thought that's what you're talking about, but I couldn't remember. We eat out too often. That's a problem we have. Yeah, it had. It's an Italian restaurant we go to once in a while. It's called the Sicilian Butcher. Here in, well, I'm in Phoenix, but it's in Chandler. Chandler's close by, and I don't know what all the stuff on the board is, but it had like prosciutto and some other kind of stuff that's pretty tasty. But yeah, I think it's like, I don't know, $25, and there's different stuff on the board. It was pretty good. Not too bad. Poe would be a good choice because he'd bring absinthe. I don't think I need any of that, but all right. That is a good question. Have I reread something and liked it less the second time around? Interesting. I'm trying to think of an example. I don't think so. Um, Generally, it's on par or even better the second time around, but there has to be an example somewhere where I read something again. I was like, eh. Um, I guess I reread Jurassic Park and Sphere, my two favorite Crichton novels, Sphere and then Jurassic Park. And I wouldn't say I liked them less, but I'd say I'm a much different reader now than when I was a teenager. Uh, Back then, they were the most mind blowing, awesome thing ever. And now they were like, yeah, these are good. I still remember I like these a lot. And I would still recommend them. But I would say probably I've changed enough that I liked them a tiny bit less the second time around. Hey, Raph, I appreciate it. Thanks, man. Thanks for being here. This is a good question. Do I separate art from the artist? If you knew about something that reflected poorly on an author, would you avoid their works or read them anyway? I do separate them. I have to be a little careful here. So um, I think if I looked closely enough, I wouldn't be able to enjoy anything. Like the sports teams that I love, there's going to be bad actors and people that are not good representatives of that organization that would make me want to not follow the organization. If the different businesses that I um, patronize and stuff, I'm sure there are people within those businesses that do things I wouldn't like. So I don't think that's any different than reading a book by someone who does or says things I don't like. Um, I will never fault anyone else for saying that they're not going to support or read or whatever something that is not representative of their beliefs or their ideals or whatever. But what I don't particularly like is if people try to make me feel bad about choices of art that I like to appreciate. Um, so I don't know if that answers the question fully or not, but basically, yes, I separate it. It's two different things to me. If I were gonna choose art solely based on the person needs to have the specific beliefs and ideals and behaviors that I would want from them, I would have a very short list of things to read and appreciate. I haven't read Usher's Passing yet. I know our buddy Loco, who is one of the fellow patrons of Mike's server, really enjoyed it and told me I need to read it, and I will be. I'll get to everything McCammon, but it's just, it's going to be a while. But yeah, I need to reread The Fall of the House of Usher before I do it. I know that's a relatively short story, but I haven't read it in 30 years or something. Where to start with Crichton? I think probably what I would recommend would be Jurassic Park. There, there are different entry points. I think you could be just as good starting with something like Congo or Andromeda Strain or any number of them. But I think in general, what I would most recommend would be Jurassic Park, because realistically, if you don't like Jurassic Park, the style of writing and stuff like that, you're not going to like Crichton. Um, that's just reality. It's I think it's amazing. I said earlier I didn't like it as much the second time around. That's not taking it. It's still a 5-star book for me. I still love it, but it just wasn't quite as mind blowing as the first time around. Hey, thank you so much. Fashionably late is all right with me. Here is here, so that is good. Yeah, I get that, Liam. I mentioned her on a recent video about authors was it authors I hadn't gotten to yet, or I think it was standalones I want to get to. Horrible, horrible story about her and her husband. I would highly encourage people not to Google it or not to look it up on Wikipedia because it's so awful. But a lot of that stuff came out after the fact and after she died and this kind of thing. So the one good news I could say is that buying any of the books now go to support worthy causes and helping at-risk children and these kind of things. So, you're not supporting an evil person at this point. If you're buying her books, you're supporting worthy causes. So, but I totally get it. If someone didn't want to, and I've never read any of her stuff to this point, so I don't know for sure, but I do want to read Mists of Avalon or whichever one that is. It's classic. Rank in order of importance for your reading: writing style, character work, plot, themes, world building. Good question. Character is first for me. I would say writing style is second. I really, really love beautiful writing. Um, Probably world building would be third, especially as a primarily fantasy reader. I really like, um, alternative worlds to ours that feel familiar but are very different. I would say probably plot after that. I'm not much of a plot guy, but I would rank it above themes. Themes just aren't something I think about too much when I'm reading. They're sometimes there and obvious even to a layman like me, but it's never the first thing that I consider. What's your list, Pyramid? I'd be curious. Let's see. Sorry. Thank you, Liam. I appreciate it. Thanks, John. I appreciate it. Yes, Liam is here. Paramita says separate art for artists for the same reason. Okay, cool. Yeah. Um, it's one of those hot button type of questions that uh, people can get upset just by answering it not the way they want it answered. So I'm always a little bit nervous to answer it, but that's kind of how I look at things. Yeah, definitely understandable. Yep, Jurassic Park, first full size adult novel you read. Cool. Yeah, I read it shortly after I watched the movie as well. And it led me to become like a massive constant reader for Crichton. I read all of his stuff after that. What to read after Sun Eater? Well, since you're going to finish that today, I better come up with something quick. Well, rereading Ice and Fire, I definitely am on board with that. That is a good thing. Um, I'm trying to think what to have you read. You've read most of the stuff that I would recommend. Have you read Dark Tower yet? If not, that would be a recommendation I would have. I really like Dark Tower. Read good books. That is excellent advice. Yep. I actually really want to read Mists of Avalon. Yep. And I usually don't have an issue. Yep. Yep. I 100%. I totally get it. Yep. Terrible, terrible story. Yep. I don't have the book yet. At some point, I may pick it up, but yeah, it hasn't been a priority. But yeah. Okay, so Paramita has writing style first, then characters, then plot, then themes, then world building. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think you know some people make fun of me or whatever because I'm a prose snob, but that's just that's just what I am. That's one of the elements I love about stuff like Sun Eater and what I'm observing very quickly that I love about Book of the New Sun, and that's what I love about King Killer. Like good writing goes a long way with me, so that's just the way it goes. Yep. Still need to read the novella. That is correct too. I especially love Queen of Mid Ashes. The Lesser Devil is quite good, but Queen of Mid Ashes is maybe my favorite piece of fiction that he has published in terms of page for page. I just think the writing is absolutely gorgeous in that book, and I really really liked some of the stuff it explored. Uh, yeah, I mean, Paramita famously was not the biggest fan of Realm of the Elderlings, but maybe a reread would fix that. I don't know. Shadow. Okay, so you're doing Black Company. Cool. For whatever reason, I read the first book in Black Company and it didn't really work for me. I'm told I should continue, and I will try at some point, but it's not a huge priority. I know you and several others draft are huge fans, and that's cool. Good stuff. Uh, I won't answer for her, but I know the answer to this. Yep. Cool. Or Black Company fans. Appreciate it, but didn't love it because I couldn't. that hurts me to my core, Paramita, but that's okay. I adore Fitz. He is the absolute best. Uh, Interesting. I didn't. That's not a series I would have anticipated there would have been a love story in, but that's all good. I don't remember off the top of my head what the last line is, but I'm sure my memory will be jogged at some point. But yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I am almost assuredly going to be getting to both Short and Long Sun sometime this year or next year because of how much. I mean, I'm only a book in, but I really really love Wolf's prose, so there's a good chance I'm going to try and read everything. Excellent. I would do The Lesser Devil first, but both of them are quite good. I mean, I really like Wheel of Time, but it's never something I would put among my favorites. Um, I appreciated what he did with it, but ultimately I like the Sanderlanche the best out of the Wheel of Time, which makes me a bad Wheel of Time fan by default. So, you know, I just in general, Jordan's writing style is not one that I loved. I did like the characters. I don't watch too much TV, so I don't think I'm not watching any shows right now. So sometimes I'll watch with Debbie when she's watching shows. She's going back through and rewatching Elementary, the Sherlock Holmes retelling with Lucy Liu as Watson, and I like that show quite a bit. So I'm watching bits and pieces of that with her. But usually, if I'm watching TV, I just would rather be reading, so I don't watch a lot of TV. But I would like to find something that's for me. But realistically, I haven't watched a show since we were watching House of the Dragon and I was watching Rings of Power. Those were the last ones that I dedicated time to watching. Um, yeah, I don't. I have a bad attention span when it comes to TV. I guess I'm not sure. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we know, Raph. We we know you didn't like it. That's all right. All right. Yeah, good question for everyone if they've read Five Warrior Angels, because everybody should. It is fantastic. Oh, okay. That was your intro to Sando. My intro to Sanderson was Mistborn, the original book, shortly after it was released. So I was reading Sando before anybody knew who he was. We know what happened from there, but like nobody I knew had ever heard of Sanderson when I first started reading him. Yeah. I mean that not everything is for everybody. That's cool. You know, it is what it is. Rings of Power, ugh, correct. Rings of Power was terrible. I watched it specifically so I could make fun of it. It was very very bad. The writing was terrible. It didn't honor anything about Tolkien's legacy, in my opinion. Anything that was there as a nod to the books or to the previous movies wasn't executed well, in my opinion. So I will continue to watch it because I will want to continue to make fun of it. So whenever we have a second season, I will be there. Yeah, I thought you did, Paramita. I was pretty sure you had read it. And yeah, Durfee's writing is outstanding. I agree. DNF to After Fires of Heaven and continue with Malzahn instead. Best reading decision you made. Okay, yeah, I mean that's cool. I read Wheel of Time in 2020, and then I read Malzahn in 2021. So I kind of split them up that way. Um, yeah, maybe. I've come to the conclusion that I'm just not going to reread Wheel of Time. I enjoyed it for what it was on a first pass. It's not something I'm ever going to take the time to revisit. Yeah, I can see that. I enjoy, and again, I'm going to mispronounce it. I say it Malazan. I'll always say it Malazan. I enjoyed it for what it was. It's another one I don't know that I would ever be in a hurry to reread necessarily. I still have a lot of the other stuff in that world to do. Like I'd like to do the Carcanis trilogy once that's complete. I'll probably read the Witness trilogy when that's complete. But yeah, I as far as the main Book of the Fallen series, I'm probably never gonna touch that again. There's other stuff I'd rather read. Yeah, Rings of Power could have been great. It really could have. I was nervous from the start because I knew it was going to be a prequel, and I knew that they didn't have the rights to most of the stuff they needed the rights to. They basically had license to use the appendices. That's what they had. The rest of it's fan fiction. So if you're going to do that, you need super talented writers, and they had amateur hour. It was very bad writing. Most of it didn't make a lot of sense. There was a lot of nonsense. There was a lot of time wasting. Those first two episodes, it felt like an entire season they drug so hard. Like it was rough in a lot of ways. I have very few good things to say about Rings of Power. Even the thing I thought I would say, which is that it looks fantastic, I don't even believe that. I don't think it looked great. It looked fake and cheap. Uh, okay. Uh, I think you're talking Wheel of Time right now. Okay. Which do I enjoy more? Well, Malazan is on my top 10 and Wheel of Time is not. So I definitely enjoyed Malazan more. Um, and I think probably I just like the epic stuff in it, the battles. I like the especially battles between mages and stuff. I think that all that is super cool. Siege of Pale in Guards of the Moon is still one of my favorite scenes of any book ever. I just really like it. So there wasn't anything of that scale or that nature that did much for me. Wheel of Time. I was happy to have read the books, but it wasn't something that stuck with me a whole ton. Took a 6 month break, about 60% through book four. Then after that, I forced myself to read one. See, I don't. If I had to force myself to read a chapter of a book a day, I would just assume the book's not for me at that point. I got. I'll find something else. I don't have to force hate read. Sorry, catching up. Yeah, Beausoleil and Corbel Broach. I think I would enjoy those novellas. Probably, I like those two characters a lot, especially in Memories of Ice. So, yeah. Rings of Power, terrible. I agree. Or William. I'm not familiar with William the Bald Book Geek, but probably in a fight he would probably take me. I suppose I'm not much of a fighter, so uh, probably him. Sorry, let's see. Yeah, it does feel that way, Zen. I think at points they were on the right track with Wheel of Time, but ultimately that fell pretty flat. Um, the Witcher, I haven't read the books or played the game or anything, so I don't know. But at least from the fan base, it feels like people are not happy with that adaptation. I would say the thing that Amazon adapts well is thrillers. So I really loved Terminal List season one, and I love that series. And also the Jack Ryan stuff seems to be pretty good as well. So I think when it comes to those types of stories, they're good at adapting. I think when it comes to epic fantasy, they just don't know what they're doing. Rings of Power. Everyone I know saying it's a hot mess. Couldn't get past episode 2, so I don't think I'll ever finish it. Yeah. Um, I mean, I guess small spoiler alert because it happens in the first episode, but from the moment that Galadriel takes out a troll by herself when everybody else is getting their butts handed to them, I knew from that moment we were in for a long, rough time. Like that was horrible. So I don't blame you for bowing out. That is for sure. Yeah, we know you haven't read Lord of the Rings, and we know about the terrible awfulness that you haven't read it. You need to fix that. Yeah, I'm gonna. I'll watch Wheel of Time season 2. I want to see what they end up doing with it. I've seen, I guess, some behind the scenes stuff or whatever, and I don't have super high hopes, but I also am not that attached to the property that they're gonna make me angry if I don't like it. So I'll check it out and see what's what. I agree with you. The CGI was very bad, especially like their armor painted on and stuff, and the ships they painted and all that kind of stuff. It looked awful. Yeah, it is amateur hour all around. uh See, I guess I don't get this. Maybe you guys can help me out. Why would you hate read something when there's so many things you could read that you actually enjoy? If I felt like I was forcing myself to read something, I'd read something else. That's just me, I guess. Um, my time is limited and becoming more limited with each passing years. So I'm not going to waste any time on stuff I don't like. So, but that's just me. Let me let me know if there's a reason why you feel like you have to force your way through it. I mean, that's fair. I think in some ways, I kind of like the way Erickson goes about writing things. I like that when uh, I'm confused, I feel like the characters are also confused and that kind of thing. But uh, definitely, there are criticisms to be laid about him making the story a lot more challenging than it needs to be, and I get that. So sorry, catching up. Appreciate everybody's comments. This is awesome. Retry Wheel of Time if you read Lord of the Rings. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, Zen not reading Lord of the Rings is one of the worst things that's ever happened in the history of time, so that needs to be rectified. I hope you love it, and I hope you're enjoying and will enjoy Realm of the Elderlings, because we all know how much I love that series. Hoping to read it sometime this year. I just don't care about hobbits. That's why I haven't read it yet. Hobbits are awesome. You need to fix that. Oh, was it Amazon didn't do The Witcher? Okay, never mind then. Was that Netflix? I guess I had it wrong. Sorry about that. Hobbits are the best. That is correct, Paramita. Yeah, I forgot to mention Reacher. I knew there was one I was missing. Reacher was great. I really really liked that. The guy they got to play Reacher was fantastic. I ended up reading the first 2 books in the series, and I thought they were pretty faithful in the adaptation of that first season. I think Hannah is Amazon, but I don't know anything about. I haven't watched it. I don't know anything about whether there's source material or not. So, let me know. But yeah, I think just in general, Amazon Studios has been a tiny bit underwhelming for how much money they have that they could invest in actual good properties. I mean, you should check it out. Maybe you'll like it. I know plenty of people that like Rings of Power, so I definitely think everybody should watch it for themselves and judge. It just, for me, was oof. Yes, yes. Get him to read it with you. Correct. That is good. That is very, very good. And then, if you are looking for another excuse to reread Lord of the Rings, the Andy Serkis narrations are one of the best things ever created. So make sure you use those. Haven't watched Rings of Power yet. Well, you got something to look forward to. I guess we'll say it that way. You don't necessarily have to read The Hobbit first, though I would encourage it. You could read Lord of the Rings, without reading The Hobbit first, but The Hobbit is short and an easy read, and you should read it first if you can. Never DNF'd anything. I'm also a completionist in video games. It's an OCD. I can't help it. Well, I mean, I guess that's fine. I don't DNF a ton of stuff, but I don't feel bad when I do DNF something. I'm like, I'll get to something else. I generally am pretty selective about what I pick up, though. Like I pick up stuff that I think there's a very good chance I'll like. I only hate read something if I'm reading it with someone, or yeah, that's fair. Yeah, if there's some kind of read along or a reason that you're doing it, that makes sense to me. Or if it's part of a larger series where you've largely enjoyed the series and maybe one book or two is not working for you, I could see pushing through. But when people are just, I got to read this because I got to read this, that I, that doesn't make a ton of sense to me. So no, I get that. Don't hate it, exaggerate a bit, but I definitely alternate between being bored and loving it. Well, I actually alternated between being bored and loving it as well. So I get that. There were definitely parts where I was like, yikes. And I don't typically get bored in books, but there were definitely parts that I was. Let's see. Correct. Yeah, The Hobbit is a very easy read. Yeah, I think hate reading is just in general not a great idea because time is limited, as I said. Yeah, that's true. But we also don't know why Zen hates hobbits. Maybe there's no good reason for it, and he can fix it. Let's see. Wheel of Time buddy read. Good times. Don't hate them or anything, but I think they can wait. Lord of the Rings can never wait. Lord of the Rings needs to be done. My favorite Rockio story, have him tell you sometime, but and I'll butcher the story, but when he was an editor, one of the other editors he worked with, Ed Bain, and they do speculative fiction, said, I've never read Lord of the Rings, admitted that to Rockio, and Rockio sent him home and said, come back when you have. So that's the way that goes. Come back when you have. Obviously, I'm not, Anyway, Lord of the Rings can change your life. That is correct. Fantastic stuff. Just read last year. Why would you want to, buddy? She was being sarcastic, Raph. I don't know. I don't know if you caught the sarcasm. She also doesn't like it. Reading something I don't like because yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, to me, that's the sunk cost fallacy, right? I mean, the money's spent, you're not getting it back. If they're physical objects, you can donate or sell them to somebody else. I still wouldn't go out of my way to spend time on stuff that I'm not enjoying. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I haven't. I've never tried to read the Forrest Gump book, but I've heard that. I've heard that it is not a very good book, and it's one of my all-time favorite movies. I still remember going to the theater as a kid and watching it. So, be interesting to see if I ever do try that one. I think didn't he come out with like a sequel book or like a series around it and stuff too? Or maybe I'm speaking out of turn. I'm not sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you realize Malazan wasn't your thing, and you moved on to other stuff, which is perfectly reasonable. People that have the same reading tastes with DNF and Malazan makes me nervous to start it in March. Oh, you're going to start in March? I think here's the thing. I think people should start it, and if it's for them, great. And if it's not for them, no problem. That's fine too. There's books for everybody, and there's books that aren't for everybody. So no problem at all. I think my advice would be go into Gardens of the Moon not feeling like you have to figure everything out. Just you're not going to get everything on the first pass. It's sort of how I'm treating Book of the New Sun. Just go with it. Get out of it what you can and ask questions along the way. There's plenty of people that will be happy to help you. And if you like it, great. You can keep going and see if Deadhouse Gates is your thing or not. And if you don't, that's okay too. Reading Crichton for the first time, starting with Sphere. I love Sphere. That's my favorite Crichton novel. It's fantastic. That abomination of a movie that they made still makes me sad. Let's see. He gave that intern the Bane copy. Yeah. It was an intern. That's what it was. Yep. Be careful. I'll make you, buddy, read Wheel of Time with me and give you detailed chapter criticism. Yeah, we all saw your criticisms, Raph. That's all right. When is soonish? Good question. All right. Yeah, we know you are a Malazan mega fan, which is great. Every series needs those, so that is excellent. 3 million short story. Yeah, the story itself is fine. The way it's written is infuriating. I get it. There is a sequel Forrest Gump book. Okay. Starts off with Forrest saying, "Never let them make movies about your life." Ugh. Boy, that's upsetting. I already am happy if that's the first line in the book. Makes me wonder if I'd probably you would. Reason Gump is a bad book. Book Gump has no moral center. Huh. That's no good. Yeah, that doesn't sound appealing at all. If I ever did intend to read it, I think you've talked me out of it. Yep, that happens. I really love Gardens of the Moon, but I know it's not. Again, it's not going to be for everybody. It's one of my favorites actually in the series, which is not a popular opinion. Oh, thanks, Tori. Thanks for dropping by. I appreciate it. Great writing, insufferable main. Yeah, I can already tell Severian is someone that I'm going to be interested in, but not necessarily like. And I'm only one book in. Okay, general science. Nutrition. Okay, PhD in nutrition. Chaudia is 42% into Gardens of the Moon. I like it, but as I'm in a slump, I think I have to do a reset on everything. What's it sharing time with? You said you're reading like 5 things right now. What else are you reading? Hey, Tori's here. I'm actually caught up on the chat. That's amazing. Very little food there. Maybe you'll have a special perspective on memories of ice. Yeah, maybe. All right. Caught up. What else are people wondering / want to talk about? Well, I killed the momentum. Sorry, everybody. All right. Mads Keller and a skeleton. All right. That sounds good. A bit crazy. Let's see. Did I miss some stuff? Oh, I missed some stuff. Okay. Oh, okay. Man, you're doing okay. You're doing a lot of stuff at once. I don't think I'd want to read Dragonbone Chair and Assassin's Apprentice at the very same time. I'd have a tough time keeping them distinct, I think. I like Justice of Kings a lot. I want to get to Tyranny of Faith. And I don't know what Heart's Blood is. Oh, is that Juliette Marillier? Okay. I haven't read any of her stuff yet. Fingers crossed. Okay. Hail Tori, yeah. Crazy is correct, yeah. Best movie genre that's not fantasy, like in terms of what I like dramas mostly, which drives my wife nuts because she doesn't. Uh, I I like historical like period pieces and that kind of stuff. Like war movies are cool. I don't know that kind of stuff. She wants romantic comedies all the time, and that would not be my answer for that question. We'll just put it that way. Yeah, correct. Let's see. Thoughts on Mark Lawrence or Anthony Ryan? I don't have any particular thoughts on either. I haven't read any Anthony Ryan. I read the first book in the Book of the Ancestor, Mark Lawrence. I thought it was good. I thought it was fine, but I haven't continued. And I DNF'd many years ago that first in that Prince of Thorns or whatever, his first series, and I'll try again at some point. But yeah, I don't have any particular thoughts. Maybe somebody else does. Yeah, we had a variation of this question earlier, but for me, Robin Hobb, she's my favorite author. So I just want to hear her talk about her farm and her animals and stuff. Like it doesn't even need to be book related. I just want to hear about her life and hanging out with her grandkids and stuff. Like it doesn't need to be anything special, but a chance to talk to Robin Hobb would be the best. RJ is trying to needle me today, so. For those that don't understand the question, I'm a massive Chicago Cubs fan, and the most hated team ever is the St. Louis Cardinals. So he's asking who my favorite Cardinals player is. I actually do have an answer, unfortunately, because starting this year and for the next several years, my boy uh, Wilson Contreras, who spent his entire career with the Cubs, is going to be catching for the Cardinals. So he is unfortunately my favorite player on that team. I'm extremely unhappy. That's okay. What am I reading? I'm reading Fool's Errand, rereading it, and then I'll be moving on to Book of the New Sun, Part 2, or Book 2, Claw of the Conciliator, once I'm done with that. Yeah, enjoy your live stream. I don't have that particular problem about needing my hair to dry, so you should take care of that. Thanks for dropping in, Raph. I super appreciate it, man. I've heard great things about fifth season. I've not read any N.K. Jemisin to this point. At some point, I will check it out, but not a massive priority. I loved Dragon Bone Chair. I read it last year. It was my one of my books of the year, and one of my top books of the year, I guess. But I didn't enjoy Stone of Farewell as much, and for that reason, I have not been in a hurry necessarily to get to Green Angel Tower, which at some point I do need to do because I've heard good things. Jurassic Park reboot is, yeah. I think that's a good idea. The problem is dinosaur fatigue at this point. There have been so many movies, most of them completely unwatchable at this point, that I just don't know. I don't know that I would have a strong degree of trust in any kind of showrunner to make it good. But I mean, if it's on, it's dinosaurs, I'd watch it. But Jurassic Park has been awful for a while now. Let's see. Good to hear. Next big series. Well, I've started Book of the New Sun. That's the big series that I'm doing, and then later this year I will be doing a couple other ones. I'm reading all of the Second Apocalypse by R. Scott Baker. So the whatever it is, the Prince of Nothing trilogy, and the what is it? The Aspect Emperor quartet. So I'll be doing that this year. I'll also be starting and at least doing the main series of Alistair Reynolds. What is it? Revelation Space. So I'll be doing those. So those are a couple big ones I'll be doing this year. Mama T-Rex. Yeah. A Man Called Otto is a fantastic movie. I really enjoyed it. Especially, I think, for people that love the book, A Man Called Uwe. I thought that Tom Hanks did an exceptional job. There is actually a Swedish subtitled version of A Man Called Uwe on, I think you can find it on Amazon, actually. And I watched that as well. And actually, A Man Called Otto credits both the book and that movie as its references or whatnot. I think in general, I think you're going to love it, man. So that's pretty much what I would say. I do have a video of it up where I ramble incoherently as I'm doing right now, but it had the winning formula. It has Tom Hanks, so I'm going to love it. And I thought the writing was quite good, and I thought they did the love story quite well. My wife was crying at the end and inconsolable, so that's a good sign. Nothing makes me cry for the most part, so I wasn't, but internally, I was pretty tore up. So yeah, it's outstanding. You should all check it out if you have not already done so. Yeah, good question. Yes, I would like to read The Culture. One of the problems is I like to collect books on Kindle and on Audible. And here in the States, there's at least 2 or 3 of the books within the series that are unavailable unless you go to some unique lengths, I'll just say, to acquire the UK versions of them. So that's a little bit put me on pause, but I definitely do want to get to it. If I have to collect paperbacks, I guess I will, but I don't really want to do that. So it definitely is on my list of sci-fi that I want to get to. I made a video sometime last year about priority sci-fi series I want to get to, and it's definitely on there. Yeah. I know they are very, very well thought of. It is another series that Rockio really loves. So um, it's getting to that point where if he loves something, I'm going to read it and love it too. So that's good. Everyone should hate the Cardinals. They are the worst. That is correct. DNF did originally at 75%, but I've gone back to the start rereading it. I like the world building. It reads better on the second read as you can see how the information is relevant. Yeah, that makes sense. It is the very definition of a slow burn, if we're still talking about Dragon Bone Chair, and I think we are. Very, very slow, but I really enjoyed it. Your mom sounds awesome, Tori. She sounds like a keeper. That is good. Let's see. What do we got? Sorry. Yeah, I will definitely check out N.K. Jemisin. I'm just not sure when. I think probably that's what I would start with would be 5th season. So one thing putting me off from it potentially is the second person stuff. That sounds not my thing, but we'll see. Maybe there's a good reason it was done. Anime crossover called Dragon Ball Z. Sure. Sounds good. The Dragon Ball chair. Okay. I'll read Green Angel Tower with you if you want to go. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. I don't know when that's going to be. My schedule is a disaster reading wise. I keep agreeing to things and am afraid I'm not going to get any of it done. But yes, I would like to do that. I do want to, complete that series. I think I will really like it, and you would be fun to read it with. So that's good. What speed do I listen to audiobooks on? 1.4 is your average. It depends. So if it is a reread of a book and I'm immersively listening, I usually do up to 2.5 because I know the information already. I'm just trying to, graze back over it and put some of the information back in my deteriorating brain. So I can do that at 2.5. If it is a first time read, again, it depends a lot on the narrator, but I can do up to 2 without too many problems. I usually don't listen to anything below 1.5. But it depends. But usually the baseline is anywhere in 1.5 to 2.0. Cool. Thanks for dropping in, John. I appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good. The way to do that is to gradually increase a little bit at a time. And people that say they only listen on 1 time speed, that's fine too. What I don't like is people that are like, well, if you're cheating if you're doing it faster than 1 time speed. I don't like that kind of gatekeeping. So it's all about how well you can consume the story regardless of the speed that it's on. Yeah. I really want to get to Reynolds a lot, and I really enjoyed like his interview on Moy's channel, Media Death Cult, and stuff like that. So, seems like somebody that I'm going to enjoy their writing. Also, be interested. Yeah, you should join us. All good. Thanks for dropping over. Yeah, Frederick Bachman is. I wish I had started his work earlier. Man called Uva's spectacular. I really liked Anxious People for sure. The Beartown trilogy was one of my favorite things I read last year for sure. I haven't gotten to My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry or some of the other stuff yet, but I'm going to read all of his catalog at some point. Just not sure when. It's always like the Seinfeld episode. What is this salty discharge? Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm not much of a crier. It's just it's a fault in me. I'm not sure what to tell you. Let's see. I have not seen The Whale yet. I am interested. I like Brendan Fraser a lot, or however he pronounces his last name. So I think it feels like the type of movie I would enjoy. I like drama, and I tend to like movies that revolve around a teacher figure of some kind. So seems like it would be up my alley, but we haven't seen it yet. Yeah, I agree. It's interesting that the initial version of Empire of Silence was so different, according to him, than what the final draft was. And I think he's been releasing on his Patreon, maybe or somewhere, he's been releasing what the initial version looked like, in case anyone's interested. But I haven't checked into that yet. But yeah, the dude says he's been writing stories and stuff since he was a kid, and it is definitely comes through. Yeah, I like the original film a lot too. But you know, if you want to check it out, you should. If you don't want to, that's okay. But I definitely was always going to watch it because I love Tom Hanks. Yep. Second person is just one of. Oh, it's an entire POV is in second person. Okay. 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 I'm sure there's a reason for it. Yes, I believe that. Caitlin would be an awesome reading buddy. That sounds correct. It's like anything else, man. You just do it. Generally, I am reading along as I'm listening, so that helps me. But even if I'm not, I can usually do 1.5 to 2 times speed with no trouble. I've been doing audiobooks for 20 years, though, so it's, half of my life I've been an audiobooker, basically. Second person is only one. Okay. It has I'm sure it does have a purpose. I don't think, at least from what I can tell, she's not the type of author that does things by accident. So I'm sure there's a narrative purpose. I don't know if it'll land for me or not, but I'd be willing to give it a try. I agree with you. 1 times feels painfully slow at this point. Like every pause feels like an eternity when you've moved up to 2 times speed. So I struggle to listen to anything at 1 times at this point in time. Did you see? I haven't watched that yet. I saw it was on there, and I think I would probably like it. Colin Mace is awesome, and I've heard really good things about Robin Miles Baldry. I've only listened to Legends and Lattes and thought he did a nice job with that. So I should check that out. I have not yet, but I know which one you're talking about. Hey, thanks, Yelena. I appreciate it, my friend. Thanks for dropping over. Yulene just read 5th season and loved it. That is good. I mean, if you're new to audiobooks and you're doing 1.8, that's a good sign. It means that you're able to do that quickly. How anyone can pick up on the performance just doesn't feel like. I don't know. I disagree. When it is going at that rate, the only thing that is missing is the long pauses for me. The rest of it feels like a natural speech to me. Yeah. Yeah. Agree. Yeah, depending on who it is, I'll listen to some booktube on 2 times speed. Clearly, many of my viewers listen on 2 times speed as well, based on my watch time, which is fine. 2 times speed is better than no time speed, but yeah, it depends on who the creator is. But some stuff, especially long form, I'll do on 2 times speed, or at least 1.5. Yeah, yeah. The thing is, then, is you need to listen at a speed that is comfortable for you. That's the key thing. So listen at whatever speed feels natural and comfortable to you. If you want to build up more, you can, or if you're good where you're at, that's fine too. But as long as it's a speed that is not distracting or difficult for you, that's where you should be. Yeah, we should do that at some point. Not this year. I don't. I've agreed to too many things this year. I don't think I'm going to do fifth season this year, but at some point. I do quite a bit of nonfiction audio, actually. Yeah. I read a fair amount of nonfiction last year, and most of it was done on audio. Edward Herman, I've heard is very good. I think he's on Audible's Hall of Fame. That's a name I've heard before. Unbroken and Boys in the Boat. I'm not familiar with those books, but I'm sure he did a good job with them. Didn't like fifth season. The writing style didn't work for me. Yeah. It's like anything else. It's going to be for some people and not for others. So I'd be interested to see where I land on that discussion. The audio for the Giant Beatles Tune-In biography by... I will have to check that one out for sure. Big Beatles fan. It's my favorite band. One time's painful, but don't watch YouTube on two times. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with this. Not necessarily the Malazan part, but I agree that the type of novel it is, or even the type of book that it is, different speeds can be, needed. Videos sound... No, I disagree. I agree with Caitlin. That is correct. 100%. Yeah. Each person's going to have a different comfort level when it comes to speed of the audiobook or the videos or whatever else we're talking about. Now, there's a kid north on Mike's server that watches movies on like 2 times speed, and that I don't do. That I definitely, TV shows and movies I do at normal speed for sure. But okay, you like fifth season as well. Cool. Cool. What else we got, my friends? Any questions? Anything I can answer for you about life? Yeah. Oh, hey, thank you. Reading Off Grid has a good channel, and she has been commenting on all of my videos lately, which I super appreciate. I've been watching her videos. She's got a fantastic channel. Go subscribe to her. She's awesome. Yeah, I think it depends on the software you're using, but yeah, you can speed up movies and TV shows and stuff. I would never, ever do that. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. What am I reading? No, that's okay. I'm doing my reread of Fool's Errand. So I'm about maybe a third of the way into that. And then once I get that done, I will be stepping into Book of the New Sun, book number 2, Claw of the Conciliator. So I really, really love the first book, and I am excited to get to the second one for sure. Totally sober. Good. I don't know how I'm all good. Excellent question, Madison. When will I read Lonesome Dove? I don't know. I know that I need to. I know that it's one of your favorite books of all time. I know everybody that reads it loves it. I just don't know when I'm going to get to it. I will, for sure. I just don't know. I will let you know when I'm ready to start it, and we will have some excellent discussions on it, I am certain. I am more than sure I will love it based on what you've told me about it. But yeah, I need to build up the motivation to do that, I think. Long hair is a pain. I miss my mohawk days. Yeah, I suppose. I don't really have the option to grow out my hair, so I people would just laugh at me. I would look like George Costanza if I grew my hair out at this point. So easier just to shave it all off. Yeah, you guys are doing your Abercrombie live stream, which is... Sorry. Somebody was calling me. My uncle was calling me to wish me happy birthday. I'll get back to him. So the screen blanked out for a second there. Everybody's still with me, right? I hope. Uh-oh. We're losing people. Zen deliberately keeps the hair cut short so it doesn't have anything. Okay, but I'm usually... Yeah, I suppose. Cool. All right. Well, probably It looks like we're sort of winding down a little bit. Anybody have any last minute stuff they want to talk about? Maybe we'll go a few more minutes. But I appreciate everybody that has dropped in to say hello and wish me happy birthday. It means a lot to me that you're spending part of your day with me. Anybody have any last minute things they want to chat about? Let's see. Yes, thank you, Mads. I appreciate it. Thank you all very, very much for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. All right. Well, oh, wait a minute. Correct. Yeah. For those that have not yet read Sun Eater, please do so. That is correct. Thank you, Caitlin. I super appreciate you being here and for letting me know. That is awesome. Okay, you're gonna read Lonesome Dove in the Fall. That is cool. I should do that at some point. All right. Well, I think with that, we'll probably call it a day. Again, thank you all for being here. It means a lot to me that you would spend part of your day with me. Uh, thanks, Johnny. Yes, publication order always is correct. Thank you, Madison, for the reminder. That is awesome. Thank you all for all that you do to support the channel and to support me. It means the world to me that you were here and participating in the comments. I appreciate you all. I hope you all have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll talk to you all soon.